Hey guys, it's your girl Leslie. This is my second time doing this video. It's really a pain in the butt right now, and I'm really sort of mad. So I'm gonna get this really quickly over with because I already read this, and chapter 92 sucks. Anyways, guys, let's continue. And that's my AC in my pen. Anyways, Jessica Love Story, chapter 8, Not Expected, chapter. Typical Love Story, Not Expected, Chapter 8, Plans. Jesse and John stood in front of each other in their private area, cut off from the rest of the world, Jeff having just left her by herself, not something that she wanted. But no one, including John, could know that Jeff was just kidding around, just looking around the school. The last thing she wanted to do was talk to John. She didn't even know him well, and yet he was intentionally terrorizing her. Even if the terrorizing was caused by her own mind and sick imagination, it was understandable that he liked her and he wanted to speak with her. But she couldn't handle contact with him just yet. "Talk to me about what?" she asked, acting cautious. John glanced down towards the grass beneath the two, not sure where to start with his conversation. There was many things that he wanted to know. "Well, I guess I want to know why you've been avoiding me for a start." Jessie froze and her whole body became tense. She had no idea how to answer that. Of course, she couldn't tell him the real reason. He'd think that she was a psychopath or just plain insane. Luckily, Jessie was great at thinking on the spot, due to her constantly having to hide her emotions from others and therefore quickly contemplating an excuse. Also remembering that she had asked her out that day before. "I haven't got an answer for you yet," she stated, not flinching. Honestly, going on a date with John didn't seem too appealing to her anyway. Not that she hadn't been thinking about it due to her recent endeavors, I cannot pronounce that, with the psychopathic killer. Jessie didn't want to sound facetious or anything, but John was way too normal for her. Jessie had spent her life being a gamer, otaku, or whatever, and murder researcher, long enough to know that normal guys found you strange if you did any of those things. She had never been an ordinary girl, so guys often stayed away from her in a romantic sense. In addition to that, John would probably spend the whole day talking about normal things like music, celebrities, or TV shows that Jessie had probably never seen before, like X Factor or Big Brother. Not appealing night of her life. John reacted quickly to her statement. He suddenly became down, which showed when he glared towards the floor again and placed his hand, which was now considered a fist, in front of his face. "I see. How long do you think you'll take with an answer?" "I don't know." John wasn't going to give up so easily. He remembered that yesterday when Jessie became breathless, when he grew closer to her, and thought that was the best plan of action to convince her. He stepped forward, instantly causing Jessie to fall back instantly and made a retreat, just like she had when Jeff surprised her by falling out of the tree. She wasn't going to get any closer to him in case she ended up freaking out or fading or even worse, hurting him. The pursuer noticed her actions at once. "What?" he asked. "Do you not want me near you or something?" "It's not that," Izzy explained. "I just, it was no use." She couldn't think. Her ability to think on her feet was crumbling due to the situation she was in. John took another step forward until he was right in front of her, his face inches away from hers and his hand against the tree. blocking her from moving from her position. She became red and from the dominions that John suddenly had over her, and his adver- assertiveness, she didn't like it. He then softly mumbled, "Then what is it?" For the first time, a boy was trying hard to go out with Jessie, and she was extremely fluttered. She had never thought of John in that way, but it was still sort of nice to see how hard he was trying. It was kind of an ego boost for her. She felt like a girl and a Suji Mango. Although all of a sudden contact with boys was too much for her right now. Under any circumstances, she would have just tried to brush him off gently. But that was impossible right now. She was too panicky and flustered. I do you like being interrupted? His face strangely serious. I really don't know you, so I don't know. Instantly, John smiled and responded with, "Well, then how about we go on a date to get to know each other?" Jessie couldn't help but admire John's ability to never give up. If she were him, she would have given up this mission to date her long ago. She could tell that he wasn't going to stop pursuing her, so she had to give him a support. She had to. Okay. A large grin appeared on John's face as he released his hold on the tree, freeing Jess from confinement, and joyfully said, "Awesome! I'll give you the details tomorrow," as he ran off. As soon as he was gone, Jessie fell to the ground, still leaning on the wall, fully confused and regretful. She didn't want to date anyone at that point. With everything that was happening around her, boys were the least of her concerns. At least I didn't get that weird feeling just then. Thank God for that. Considering what happened with Jeff yesterday, I might have actually hurt. You can talk to one of my friends today. I wonder what kind of friend Jeff has, and I hope to God they can help me. So what do you think? Jeff was one was once again on the phone. This time when he was wandering around the city, hood up and face well hidden behind his long manes. Luckily, people in the city weren't on too high of an alert, so no one was noticing him wandering around. Sure, just go on Cleverbot later and let me talk to this Jessie girl. I'm sure that she'll listen, Ben replied with, "Why can't I just call you? Wouldn't that be easier?" Cleverbot's more fun, Ben chuckled. She'll be so freaked out. Sounds like she's pretty cute, too. So I want to see her surprised. Yeah, she's pretty cute. For a brief moment, both Jeff and Ben were silent. Jeff couldn't believe that he just said that. Since when did he openly admit that Jessie was cute? Since and when did he openly admit that any girl was cute? Girls weren't important to him. He must be cute. She must be cute if you could give if you are hard on that like that. Jeff became red. Hey, shut up. She cut me while practically strangling me. What else could I do? Okay. Sorry guys. You could have fucked her or something. Jeff's heart skipped a beat at the statement and questions ran through his head. Why didn't he fuck her? Why did he purposely resist doing anything with her, sexual or pain inflicting? Normally, he wouldn't care and just did whatever he wanted to. Was it because she liked him? Or Or is it because he actually gave a shit about what she said she wanted? Did he really care about her? Dude, I'm still hearing him mumble. Hey Ben, yeah? Do you really think she's like us? She has to be. More specifically, she's like you. Why? No reason. That was the moment when Jeff had a thought that would stick in his head for a long time and puzzle him until the end of time. I don't know why, but I don't want her to be like me. Guys, that is chapter 8. So I'm going to quickly read chapter 9. Sorry guys, I read really quickly as I can. That is the fastest I can read. So that shows you kind of how fast I read. Anyways, guys, this is chapter 9. Meeting Ben. And I already read this, reminding you, continuing and hurrying at the same time. Jessica Love Story Not Expected, chapter 9, Meeting Ben. The victims now all seem to be in the city of Oxford. Around the Cowley area for 3 days, Jessica has been terrorizing the citizens of Oxfordshire and leaving his victims to die in the streets. Similarity to how he was murdering citizens in the U.S. However, strangely though, all of his killings in the U.S. have stopped completely, confirming that it isn't just a Jeff the Killer copycat, but the real thing. Police say. Jessie was on her couch, still in her uniform, watching TV from the first time since she had met Jeff. She had missed a huge amount of news, most of which was about her new murderous friend. Even if that wasn't the term that she wanted to use to describe their relationship, after meeting her at her house for the second time, he must have gone and found new victims just after he left, and the night before that. This fact slightly scared Jessie because she had no idea. Jeff had seemed so challenged, I'm guessing. I can't pronounce that, skipping it, when he saw him earlier that day. But death was nothing to Jeff except for the way to release himself. Maybe that's what he meant when he said that he needed to take care of that problem in his pants. Even with all of her killer research, nothing could have prepared her for meeting a real-life murderer. Jeff was unlike any guy she'd ever known. She knew everything she could possibly know about his past and all of his murderers that she knew about. Murderer, Murderers that she knew about. He was the most definitely the one that she felt most sympathy for. He was so young when he began killing, and now though he was only slightly older than her and hadn't repent or stopped with his sick hobby. That made his story even worse, that his first proper victims were his parents and brother. All of those years of torment and self-hatred after that, she knew what it was like to grow up without your parents around. She had a whole teenagehood without them around her, sometimes not even in the same city as her, but at least they were alive. She also hadn't had any siblings, so she had no idea what it was like to lose someone, better yet, losing one because what something she had done. I wonder why is Jeff here in England? Knock knock. Jessie jumped as she heard something knocking at her back door. The door, mainly made of glass, she could immediately see who it was. Jeff stood waiting and grinning at her through the darkness of outside. Jessie quickly looked at the clock. It read 10:15 p.m., then looked back to Jeff. I guess he doesn't like traveling around in the day. Good thing, too. with the police all looking for him and everything. She wandered towards the door, let the pale teen in hesitantly, wondering if this was all such a good idea. Hey, he said cheerfully. Jesse glared at him without realizing it. I know you can sneak in here. You would have done it before, so why use the back door? She asked as he perched himself on the couch without the courtesy to ask her permission. I was trying to be polite. Would you rather that I sneak in? No, just wondering. Thanks for trying to be polite. Jessie smiled slightly. Was glad that she that he had Jeff was glad that he made her smile for once, instead of making her feel awkward, confused, or even scared. Don't worry about it. Anyways, are you ready to talk to my friend? Jessie stopped smiling and became serious now. She would finally learn more about why she kept feeling bloodlust for someone other than Jeff. She knew, she know, she knew had, she now had a reliable source of information. She nodded. Good. Do you have a laptop? The Otaka instantly thought about the laptop up in her room. Just resting in her bed, she didn't really want to retrieve it because she was just using it to watch PewDiePie videos only an hour ago. She had to set it down and take it all the way upstairs to her room. She said she was quite lazy, as most teenagers were. Yeah, why? Can you go and get it? It's how we're going to talk to him. Her hopes of not having to go upstairs were shattered. Sure. She ran upstairs and went to get her laptop, thinking that they must be about to Skype the mystery person. Jeff leaned his head back. Let's hope she listens to Ben. Cleverbot? Jeff had the laptop on his lap with the famous webpage Cleverbot open. Jessie was sat next to him on the couch, confused, not clear about Jeff's message. Trust me, he said. This is the way you wanted to talk to us. Jessie had absolutely no idea how they would talk to one of his friends through something like Cleverbot. This website was designed for people to have a semi-intelligent conversation with a computer for fun, not to communicate with other people. That was what Facebook or email was for. What the hell was Jeff thinking? I don't really understand, she muttered. Type something. He placed the laptop on her lap and sat there, waiting for her to start typing, his dark eyes glaring at her, making her feel slightly uncomfortable. Jessie had used Cleverbot before, so she just did what Jeff said and typed what she would normally type if she wanted to use this web page. Hello. It only took a few seconds for the Cleverbot to reply, and what it typed was extremely unsettling for Jessie to see. So you're this Jessie Walker that I've heard so much about. This teen's mouth dropped open, but no words would escape from her mouth. Jeff chuckled at her expression. You look like a goldfish, he laughed out loud. How is, what? Type something else. Jessie quickly did what Jeff said once again. Now she was intrigued. You know who I am? She eagerly waited for a reply. Of course, Jeff told me all about you. I'm Ben. So Ben, your friend, he's gone? Jessie turned and asked Jeff. He shuffled closer to her on the couch. Not exactly. He can transport to computers and pretty much the whole internet. He prefers to talk to people through Cleverbot for some reason. Probably to freak the others out. He's my best friend from back home. How sweet, Jeff. Jessie was astonished yet again. Oh, Jeff again. Yeah, you don't even need to type when talking to him. He can hear us perfectly and just replies. Jeff prepared for Jessie's reaction. He expected for her to be freaked out or scared. Like most people who talk to Ben this way were, however. Awesome! So cool! You don't even need a you don't need a microphone on the laptop. Her face screamed excitement. Surprising Jeff, so Ben was like traveling around the internet? Pretty cool. Maybe one day you can come in here and see for yourself. Seriously? That would be great. This was the most excited Jeff had ever seen Jessie. It was sort of peeving him off that Ben was the one making her laugh and smile like that, not him. She's the she had only known Ben for a few minutes, and yet she had laughed more with Ben in those few minutes than she laughed with Jeff in a few days. That she know him. Why was that? Was it because her first meeting with Jeff had scared her for life and set her opinion on his stone in stone? But be careful, if you come in here, there's a lot of curs out there who would love to take a cute girl like you anyway. Including me. Oh god, that's so cute. Jessie blushed and just snapped. Ben, I asked you to do this to give her information, not flirt with her. Sorry, dude. My bad. Jessie glanced at Jeff puzzled. He had seemed very angry just then, and she didn't know why. He wanted them to get along, and they were. What was the problem? Anyway, Jessie, Jeff says that you don't really understand the situation, right? Yeah. Do you know why I started having those thoughts as soon as I met Jeff and how to stop it? Jeff probably already told you this, but you can't stop it. He wasn't lying if he said that. Figured, she mumbled to herself. Also, those thoughts and your new attitude towards inflicting pain onto others has always been there. Meeting Jeff must have just triggered it and caused it to instantly awaken. That's what Jeff said too. But I don't really understand why. How did it always been with you? You research murders and killers, right? Did you really think that was just an unusual habit and that it didn't mean anything? There was a reason that you did that. The second Jeff told me that, I knew that you were one of us. Wait, you mean I researched murders because yep. You liked hearing about the pain and death being inflicted on others, and you admired to murderers who committed all those crimes, including Jeff. Did you ever notice an amazing amount of pleasure when you're doing your research? Jessie froze. Had she always been this sick in the head? She knew that studying death was a little strange, but she never thought of it that should have thought it that it was because of something as disgusting as that. She didn't really feel happy when looking into murders, but she thought it was just out of interest, not because she loved hearing about tragic and painful deaths being inflicted onto others. She just stared at the screen of the laptop, uh, tears forming in her eyes, these from self-hatred and pity. Jeff clocked it right away, and so did Ben. I would like hearing about those poor people dying, being raped, being tortured. What's wrong with me? A tear fell onto the laptop keyboard as she lifted her hand and stared at it, letting it tremble. Jeff, I'll leave this to you. Yeah, Jeff mumbled, eyes become dull. Jessie, if you ever need me, just come on Cleverbot and we can talk, okay? All the weeping girl could do was nod. Ben understood and locked off of Cleverbot, leaving Jeff to deal with a crying Jessie. Jeff reached his pale hand out and patted Jessie's head. She turned and looked at him, tears falling down her cheek as he began to rub her head, causing her to feel a surprising amount of comfort. Jeff, she almost whispered, am I really a monster? It it was then that Jeff knew who that she wasn't like him or Ben or Sunderman or any of his friends back from home at all. She didn't want to be the way she was. Everyone he knew back home had loved killing. When they became who they were today, even if they had a comment full of acts of tragedy or harm, the people that they cared about, they still did it with a smile on their face and a kick in their step because that's who they were. Killing had become something that Jeff had just been accustomed to and part of his routine. But Jessie, she hated it all. She was different. More tears fell down Jessie's face and began to cry, to try and wipe her tears away. But Jessie ended up burying her head in her hands, placing the laptop on the floor. Her moans and cries were slightly disturbing to Jeff. The ordinary loved hearing girls cry or even die sometimes, as long as it was out of sorrow, anger, or fear, but Jessie's cries were painful to hear. He couldn't take it. Jeff grabbed Jessie and held her in his arms. Jessie opened her eyes and stared blankly at the wall behind Jeff. I wouldn't leave you alone, not until you're comfortable with who you are. He thought to himself, as he could never say that cheesy. He would never say anything that cheesy to her. But by how hard he was holding her, she could tell what he meant by the embrace. Her eyes slowly closed as one more tear fell and landed on Jeff's shoulder. I'll soon be like Jeff, a killer. Good thing he's here to help me. She buried his face her she buried her face into his chest and cried slightly harder, causing Jeff to blush from the face to the chest contact, but controlled himself for the sake of the serious situation. Thank you, Jeff. That is the end of part 9. I did part 8 and part 9 for you guys, and hopefully this will upload. Comment down below if you can see this, because I'm dying. Because I'm not sure, because I'll be asleep. Sound asleep. Anyways, guys, see y'all later for the 1 or 2 next chapters. Peace.